I get asked the questions all the time too, right? Aren't you worried that now if you say something and other people aren't saying anything, then Boston will become even more of a target? They have been attacking our police commissioner, city officials, our institutions from the beginning because we represent everything that proves how wrong they are.
A few moments later.
Thank you. I'm filing this emergency hearing order today, calling for an immediate reforms to the City of Boston's hiring and employee review processes. This action comes after multiple troubling incidents involving city employees.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these wonderful, interesting stories every day. Now, y'all, today we're going to follow up on your girl, Michelle Wu, the mayor of Boston. You know, Wu, we might need to make a high horse ranking, y'all. Like, we should start getting more creative, have a little bit more fun on this channel. So for early, I'm going to give you an early question that y'all can talk about down in the comments. Maybe even make a poll about it. If we have a high horse ranking, who would you say is sitting higher on their high horse? Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, or Michelle Wu, the mayor of Boston? Whose high horse is higher? That would be a question. Well, Michelle Wu is way up there on her high horse, and she's talking a lot of smack, as you know. Politicians tend to do that. What's interesting is while she's talking smack about the administration and so on and so forth, her own administration, at least from published reports, is a bit in a shambles. We have done no less than 4 or 5 different stories in recent weeks and months about people who are employed by the Boston government, Michelle Wu's administration, being arrested for everything from domestic violence, choking people, scratching people, biting people, someone on video smacking somebody else in the face or in the head with a high heel shoe, and even one of her employees carrying a gun and then getting into a scuffle with a police officer where he assaults the police officer. That was the most recent incident. So now at this point, while she's attacking the Trump administration, which, look, every administration is going to have problems. So I'm by no means defending any administration. But while she's attacking the Trump administration, her own government is calling for an emergency hearing on hiring practices due to all of the bad actions of her employees. So today we're going to take a look at that and see how Michelle Wu's own administration is in a shambles while she's criticizing the Trump administration. Let's take a look. Y'all know we about to hop into this excellent content, but before we do, people, I want y'all to go at the end of the video. Watch the video first, but then immediately go to Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com. Y'all look at the stock market. Look at the markets. They're up, they're down, they round, right? But gold has been firm and strong for over 5,000 years for mankind, for you, for me, for everybody. Y'all protect your money, protect your retirement. Call my people at Augusta Precious Metals at 844-651-8334 to learn just how to do that. Now let's hop into this excellent content.
Thank you. I'm filing this emergency hearing order today, calling for an immediate reforms to the City of Boston's hiring and employee review processes. This action comes after multiple troubling incidents involving city employees, including violent confrontations and the shocking case of a level 3 sex offender employed in our Parks Department. These failures highlight unacceptable gaps in background checks, sex offender screening, and continuous monitoring. This order will call for urgent reforms, including mandatory SORB and CORI checks for all hires, stronger standards for jobs involving children, seniors, and our vulnerable residents, annual rechecks, and real-time alerts for new arrests, immediate suspension when credible allegations arise, and a full audit of city hires back to July 2023. I'm hoping that this hearing order will bring human resources, police department, the law department, parks, facilities, and any other outside experts to ensure accountability, transparency, and public safety. I believe the Boston residents deserve nothing but this full transparency and accountability.
The City of Boston human resources process must include criminal background checks. With Counsel Murphy and Counsel Fitzgerald, we filed this emergency hearing order to investigate the system-wide breakdown. We need answers. Residents of Boston need answers. We can't support the status quo. August 18th, regarding the impact of Corey, after it was learned and discovered that a level 3 sex offender was working on Boston's payroll as recently as August 12th in the Parks and Recreation Department. I do believe there's a system-wide breakdown. We need to address it and provide the residents of Boston with an exceptional workforce, and that includes background checks on new hires.
Here, this Daily Caller report says Boston Mayor Wu under fire over city employee crime wave and multiple arrests. A series of high-profile arrests and scandals involving Boston city employees have sparked calls for immediate reforms to Democrat Mayor Michelle Wu's hiring practices, the Boston Herald reports. The Boston City Council on Wednesday advanced an emergency order and will hold a hearing on reforming the city's hiring practices. Recent incidents, including the hiring of a SX offender in the Parks Department and a violent altercation involving a city employee and a state trooper, have raised questions about the city's background check procedures, according to the Boston Herald. Quote, "These failures highlight unacceptable gaps in background checks, SX offender screening, and continuous monitoring," said City Councilor Aaron Murphy, who co-sponsored the measure, according to the outlet. "I'm filing this emergency hearing order today calling for immediate reforms to the City of Boston's hiring and employee review processes. Among the most alarming cases is that of Robert M. Claud, a level 3 SX offender, the highest risk category, who was hired this year as an equipment operator for the city's Parks Department, according to the Boston Herald. Claud, whose employment ended on August 12th, has 2 convictions from 2013 for indecent assault and battery and 1 conviction for open and gross lewdness and lascivious behavior. The controversy escalated on August 22nd when news broke that city employee Nasiru Ibrahim had been arrested weeks earlier on July 30th, according to WCVB5. Ibrahim allegedly tased a state trooper and tried to flee during a traffic stop. Now, y'all are going to be seeing that in this part of the video that's coming up. Police also discovered a handgun wrapped in a sweatshirt inside his vehicle, despite Ibrahim having no license to carry in the state. So there you can see people from Michelle Wu's government talking about the hiring practices, the people. Now, y'all, I already know y'all gonna say DEI. I already know y'all are gonna say that. I don't know what the problem is with the Wu administration. All I know is she should probably be cleaning up her own house before she's looking around saying, look how dirty your house is. Like, yeah, but have you seen your house? Have you seen yours? So y'all, we previously did a full report on this entire saga, on this entire situation with Michelle Wu's administration, and we've been detailing all these different crazy stories involving her employees over several months. I'm gonna go ahead and run right into that report so that you can have all of these reports in one place. And yeah, it's wild. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. But you know what the sore spot is? One of the sorest spots in Boston is Michelle Wu's own administration, y'all. We have brought you story after story after story of Michelle Wu's administration, people who are hired by her to run her government, who have been violently assaulting and battering people. And now we have another story. This time, one of the people who works for Michelle Wu has gotten into it with a police officer, as you have seen in the coming up. So as I said last time, y'all, Michelle Wu wants a diverse administration, and you know, all of the different categories of people are represented when it comes to, they say, equal rights and equal lefts, you know what I mean? Well, her administration is represented by all of the different people giving rights, lefts, uppercuts, crosses, jabs. So y'all, today you're going to see one of Michelle Wu's employees attacked a police officer. And then, of course, we're going to flow in and just fill you in on all of the other crazy situations with Michelle Wu's employees over the past several months. You have people hitting each other with high heel shoes. You have people choking each other. You have domestic disputes. You have a little bit of everything, people. But let's go ahead and hop into this most recent story of Michelle Wu's employee riding around dirty with a Glock 40 and getting into it with a police officer. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Hold on. Why? Yo. No.
Wow, that is breaking news. It is video you're going to only see on 5 as this traffic stop turns violent. The state trooper ending up going right through that window as you see. 5 investigates broke the story at 5 p.m., revealing that a Boston City worker is now behind bars after that wild encounter.
Let's get to our Brittany Johnson. She's been digging into how all of this unfolded. Brittany?
Well, Ed and Maria, this is just the latest case of a city employee landing in trouble with the law in recent months. And in this case, that worker is being held on 5 felonies after a confrontation with both the suspect and the trooper being tased.
What's up, man? How you doing? Good. Give you a license registration?
It starts as a routine traffic stop in South Boston. A state police trooper spotting a car with window tint that appears darker than allowed by law. It all unfolded here on Old Colony Avenue, just past a traffic rotary.
I just got out of work.
What do you do? I can't see the ad.
Oh, City Boston.
The driver, Nasiru Ibrahim, on the city payroll, working in the property management department.
No, you're good. Just relax.
No, I know.
The trooper writing in his report that because Ibrahim's demeanor was nervous and he admitted to prior firearms charges, the trooper asked to inspect a backpack on the passenger side floorboard. A few seconds later.
Hold on. Why? Yo. No. Stop, dude. Stop. You're going to make it worse.
As the chaos unfolds, you can see them struggling over the car's transmission as Ibrahim tries to put the car in drive and the trooper struggles to keep it in park.
You're going to kill somebody, dude. Okay. You're going to kill somebody.
The struggle continues. Then you can hear the trooper use his taser on Ibrahim. Not shown on the video, but in the police report, the trooper says he had to drop his taser to put the car back in park, saying, quote, Ibrahim picked up my taser and deployed the second set of probes into the lower right side of my abdomen, causing excruciating pain. Ibrahim eventually agreed to surrender and with the help of an off-duty Boston police officer was placed under arrest. Inside the car, according to the report, a .40 caliber Glock pistol modified to make it a fully automatic machine gun. Ibrahim's attorney telling us, quote, there are significant legal issues concerning the stop and why my client was pulled over, and that may impact the remainder of the case. The Wu administration is also responding tonight, saying the city placed Ibrahim on unpaid leave as it learned of the allegations. Reporting live tonight in the newsroom, Brittany Johnson.
So yeah, y'all, Michelle Wu has created a very diverse administration where all of the different groups are represented as it relates to assaulting, battering, getting arrested, and overall just showing out in public. And now, y'all, because you're probably wondering, like, well, so what are these other situations you're referring to? I'm going to just go ahead and flow right into our report where we go over all of the different situations that came before what you just saw in this video. Y'all, you're even going to see somebody in Michelle Wu's administration who hit her neighbor in the face with a high heel shoe. I mean, this was just a couple of weeks ago. So y'all, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into it. Now, y'all, today we have yet another story about your girl, Michelle Wu, and scandal in her administration. I don't know why, but over the past 2 months, there have been at least 4 different people, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 people in 3 different situations who have had violence, who have been either arrested for some sort of violence or caught on film in some kind of violent situation. We're talking about We're talking about 3 different women and 1 man. We're talking about all the different races. We're talking about all of the different diversity. One thing I can say about Michelle Wu, y'all, we need to give her propers. Let's give her her propers. You know, she wants a diverse city. She wants a diverse administration. That's great, right? Well, her administration's domestic violence and violence situation is just as diverse as you can come. The LGBTQ, the white, black, Asian, all kinds of men, women, everybody's involved. So kudos to that. So if, in case you don't remember the first 2 situations that involved 3 different staffers, we'll get to that a little bit later. But now we're going to bring you the most recent situation, which is from just a few days ago. Allegedly, a staffer from Michelle Wu's administration was caught on tape in a violent situation. Take a look, and then we're going to come back and look at a report on it.
You're dead. Your son's dead. I'm gonna beat the shit out of him.
So there you can see exactly what was, again, allegedly, because, you know, do we really know? Do we really know anything, people, right? In case it's not clear what was going down there, let's take a look at this report. It says a Boston City Hall employee allegedly struck a woman in the face repeatedly with her high heel shoe as part of an attack that also involved the Wu administration official's father and 2 of her sisters last Friday in the North End. Ciara D'Amico, the city's deputy director of neighborhoods, allegedly joined an attack that began with her father, John D'Amico, punching a woman in the face multiple times and continued with 3 of his daughters jumping into the fray, according to a Boston police report obtained by the Herald. No arrests have been made in the incident, the Herald has learned. The victim, age 40, stated that Ciara D'Amico took off her high heel shoe and hit her in the face over 3 times, the police report states. The victim stated she was attacked by all of the suspects, who are also her neighbors. This wasn't the only recent situation, as I said. There were at least 2 others. So now let's hop into the last situation where a staffer allegedly assaulted somebody very badly. And funnily enough, this person who was put on leave apparently was seen with Michelle Wu on the campaign trail after this. So some people are questioning that. Let's take a look. Here, the Boston Herald reports that Boston City Hall official is on unpaid leave, but remains employed months after felony assault arrest. Now, this is who we're talking about here. Look at this lovely lady. Here it says a Wu administration official has been placed on unpaid leave, but is still employed by the city of Boston months after being arrested on felony assault charges. Her name is Denasia Yancey. She's 33 of Jamaica Plain.
Hi, I'm Denasia Yancey, and welcome to Pay a Black Woman. You're here because you care about Black women. You're here because you know that to survive in this capitalist economy, we need money. I started this company because after years as an activist on the front lines of our movements, I am struggling still.
And she was arrested and charged with assault and battery with a dangerous weapon on April 11th after allegedly attacking, now check this out, after allegedly attacking the ex-wife of her then girlfriend in a Roxbury home during a dispute the former spouses were having over the return of a birth certificate. So apparently she had a girlfriend, and that girlfriend had an ex-wife, and somehow Yancey got into it with her girlfriend's ex-wife. All right. So Yancey is the deputy director of Michelle Wu's Office of, you guessed it, LGBTQ advancement, and founded the Boston Black Lives Matter chapter in 2014, according to her professional website. Now, what exactly happened here? The assault is alleged to have occurred after Yancey accompanied her partner to the Roxbury home of her partner's ex-wife. So Yancey and her girl go to her girl's ex-wife's house to pick up some stuff. A dispute arose when the ex-wife, okay, so Yancey's girlfriend's ex-wife, yeah, y'all try to follow now, keep up now. The dispute arose when Yancey's girlfriend's ex-wife was unable to produce her ex-spouse's birth certificate as it was locked in a safe and she couldn't find the keys at the moment. The situation is alleged to have escalated when Yancey's partner tried to take the locked safe with her, and her ex-wife grabbed it back and prevented that from happening. The victim stated that after her ex-wife attempted to take the safe from her, the ex-wife's new girlfriend / suspect, Denasia Yancey, intervened, physically assaulting her, the police report states. According to the victim, the suspect grabbed her and threw her out of the bed. So I guess they were in a bed. Who knows what they were doing there? The victim also stated that the suspect, that's Miss Yancey, took the lock safe from her and slammed her into the wall. The victim also stated that the suspect had punched her in the neck. Yancey was arrested and charged with assault and battery with a dangerous weapon and pleaded not guilty to those charges on the April 14th arraignment. So what is the dangerous weapon, y'all? The wall. Isn't that wild? They're saying that this assault and battery with the dangerous weapon, I suppose because she slammed her into the wall. That's interesting. So Yancey last year made $116,000 per city payroll records. Her continued employment stands in stark contrast to the near immediate dismissals of 2 lower-level city employees after their arrest on domestic assault charges in mid-May. Now, we just talked about that. The mayor's office defended the city's decision to keep Yancey on the payroll as standard protocol for employee discipline. Quote, as a large employer, the city follows protocols in administering employee discipline in line with maintaining public trust and respecting due process, a city spokesperson said in a statement. Generally, if an employee is subject to arrest, they are placed on paid leave until information on the specific charges can be obtained, subject to laws, statutes, city policies, and union contracts. So, y'all, she's alleged to have assaulted, battered her girlfriend's or then girlfriend's ex-wife. Listen, if the policies say keep her on, keep her on. What I find interesting is all these people, the two from the previous report and this lady, they all work in some kind of liberal adjacent or liberal leaning type of office. You know, is it police accountability or is it defund the police accountability, if you know what I mean? And then you also have, you know, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and LGBTQ. Listen, I don't have a problem with any of that. I just think it's interesting that these scandals are breaking out right in the middle of a mayoral race, and they have to do with the exact type of departments and personnel that people that have been controversial. Let's just say that. And before that, y'all, so we have a July situation, which is the one I led with. We have another situation here over the summer, and now we have another one over the summer as well, involving 2 staffers and allegations of cheating and allegations of the higher-ups in her administration trying to get with their subordinates. Just all kinds of mess, y'all. Take a look at this one. Your girl, Michelle Wu, has a scandal on her hands. See, 2 of the city employees recently got into some kind of altercation, some kind of lover's quarrel, and it resulted in violence. Apparently, it resulted in some kind of fight maybe, and both of them were arrested. Now your girl, she has to respond to this situation, which she has done. Here it says, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu on Tuesday was asked repeatedly about the Boston Globe's interview with Marwa K, one of 2 city employees fired in May over an alleged incident involving domestic violence. According to police, Marwa K brought up her position in the Office of Police Accountability and Transparency and shoved an officer. Marwa K and Chulang Huang were terminated a week later. Now, to give you all of the details about what allegedly happened, we're going to take a look at this quick news report.
Boston police are investigating after 2 city employees were arrested. Good evening, everyone. I'm Colton Bradford.
And I'm Priscilla Casper. It happened early this morning. Our NBC 10's Eli Rosenberg joining us live outside City Hall with the detail on the charges. Eli, what are you learning?
Well, Priscilla, these 2 police reports right here are quite detailed, laying out what allegedly happened early this morning, including the fact that both told police, according to these reports, they worked here at City Hall. Tonight, 2 City Hall employees under investigation. Police investigating an alleged domestic violence incident. So this is what we know. Court paperwork indicating a woman called them a little after 2 this morning. As those first officers arrived to the unit on Hudson Street in Boston, they wrote they could hear a woman yelling, entering the house after they heard her say, quote, "Let me go." Officers say they then observed several bite marks in the man's chest and arms. The report goes on to say officers spoke with the man, and he told them that the woman, quote, "went on a date with my boss." The report adding the woman said the man had cheated on her, leading to that date. Police arresting the man, identifying him as Chulang Wang. Officers say they noticed bite marks on the woman's left wrist. According to the City of Boston's website, he works in the city's Office of Economic Opportunity and Inclusion as a neighborhood business manager. And the woman identified as Marwa Kude Nasser. According to the city's website, she is chief of staff in the city's Office for Police Accountability. She was also arrested after police say she allegedly assaulted an officer. The police report stating she allegedly swore at and pushed an officer. She was charged with assault and battery on a police officer. The city saying this evening, when the city learned of the incident, both employees were placed on unpaid leave effective immediately while the city continues to investigate. The city takes these allegations very seriously and holds all public servants to the highest standard. And both of those profiles have since been taken down from the city's website after making initial court appearances this morning just down the street from City Hall. Both are due back in court in July. Live in Boston, Eli Rosenberg.
So in response to this, Wu says it is not acceptable for any city employee to ever say that they are, because of their status as city employees, that they should be shielded from accountability. But Marwa K said there's more to the story, telling the Globe that Boston's economic and inclusion chief, Chulan's boss, Segun Idwu, made advances outside of work, which she declined, but which sparked the fight later that night. Never once was I like, quote, "I work at the Office of Police Accountability. You can't arrest me," Marwa K said in an interview. So here we have people who are working in inclusion and working in, I guess, diversity, working in police accountability, assaulting the police, and even getting themselves arrested, all in time for the upcoming elections. So y'all, Michelle Wu, she's running a diverse administration, y'all. Everybody's getting involved on this with the slapping, okay? The slapping, the slapping is happening. The slapping is happening among all different diverse categories. So kudos to you, Wu. Kudos to you. Y'all, let me know what you think about this. I mean, there have been a lot of situations where Democrats in particular have either called for violence or been involved in violent situations. So let me ask you this. What's going on? Do y'all think Democrats are so frustrated right now that they're just taking it out on anybody? Do you think they're just, that the TDS is hitting so hard that they're one of their outlets? What is really going on? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. But before you do, please stop, hit the share button. Share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. What you waiting for? For my people with a retirement, hit my link, y'all, PARALEGOLD.com. Y'all see how I'm living? Take a look at this. We traveling, we enjoying life. I got my daughters with me. I'm paying for everything. You know why? Because I took care of my retirement. I'm 40, how old am I? 45? I'm retired, y'all. even though I'm doing these YouTubes for y'all every day. I'm practically retired. I'm not really retired, but I live like a retired person. Go to Paralegal, y'all, PARALEGOLD.com. Get the information. Also talk to my people at Augusta Precious Metals at 844-651-8334. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all, and we'll see you back in the next one.
Strong enough and in the right places, starting with the right marginalized communities in certain ways. This never was just about immigrants in this country. This never was just about the trans community or LGBTQ residents or Boston or any individual community. Certainly this is meant to isolate and intimidate individual communities from speaking out. But at the end of the day, our democracy is based on principles that the city of Boston started. The reason why we have a democracy is because Bostonians decided we weren't going to let someone come in from high and come down and try to tell us how to run our communities and how to take care of our neighbors. That is why our laws are written how they're written, because we had to stand up once 250 years ago and take care of that situation. And those remain the laws today. I have faith that Bostonians and people in our communities will understand what the truth is, understand what the law is, and will continue to push me and all of our leaders to speak out forcefully and defend us against this slide towards losing our country.
You do think they're coming, though. When this is, you don't think that his threat to flood the zone, Lyons, the ICE guy, is an idle threat. It's just a matter of time.
Look, I mean, there's a lot of rhetoric out there. The ICE director also said loudly and immediately after we announced our executive order that we would be using the Freedom of Information Act to demand basic information on who's been detained, why, where, what tactics. Yeah. And they said right away, oh, we're going to share all of that with you. It will be embarrassing for Boston to see how many quote unquote criminals we've taken off the streets. It's been 2 months. We've gone back and forth. We still have nothing from them. So on the one hand, it's impossible to predict. Tariffs are on, tariffs are off, tariffs are being negotiated. Everything is chaos and up in the air. And I think in this moment, however we got here, every mayor of every major city is having to take preparations for the National Guard coming in against their will.
We're talking to Mayor Wu. By the way, I never gave the number, 877-301-8970 if you'd like to talk to the mayor.
You know, one more thing before we get to the phone calls, as Jim said, 877-301-8970. You're an alumna. You're a woman alumna. I think you are an alumna of Harvard University, Harvard Law School. Alan Garber, the president over there in Harvard, got a lot of praise for filing suit and to fight back against Donald Trump. They seem to be negotiating now with Donald Trump on issues like admissions. But the other day, the university let stand a decision to take down a Black Lives Matter flag that had been up for years now in a professor's office or lab. They took it down, and they did take it down. What'd you think of that?
I'm not following all the ins and outs of every detail of what's happening. All I can say is that the pressure that's being directed at universities and law firms and every institution, every organization or agency of government is immense. And the problem is this administration. The attacks are in clear violation of our constitutional principles, freedom of speech, and the very things that make Boston great are what make our country great. That people from all around the world want to come here to send their kids to study or to get life-saving medical treatment. And the damage that's being done right now is not just something we have to survive in this moment. There are already going to be lasting consequences of this. So I hope all of our institutions will find it within their power to continue to do what they can to protect their communities and to help use the platforms that they have to speak out, because this, I get asked the questions all the time too, right? Why would you, aren't you worried that now if you say something and other people aren't saying anything, then Boston will become even more of a target? I mean, first of all, Boston has been their target since before they were even sworn in this cycle, right? They have been attacking our police commissioner, city officials, our institutions from the beginning because we represent everything that proves how wrong they are on the law, on safety, on progress and the public good. And so I don't think we'll ever be out of their sights just because of the power of what Boston represents in the history of this country and the force that we have in shaping how people think about cities and what cities are for. But at the same time, I take my direction from our community members.